I want to explain one important interview question, especially Spark. So that is generally people will ask in interviews. I think you might know that answer, but still, if you don't know, just try to listen so that you will get some more clarity. Okay. So the question is, can you please tell me how many of you know the answer to the question? The question is, what is the difference between coalesce and repartition in Spark? How many of you know an answer?
Yeah, I know, Naresh.
Okay. So can you please tell me, what you know about this answer, like theoretically at least?
Yeah, basically, repartition will use for either we can increase the partitions or decrease the partitions. But when coming to coils, we can't increase. We have only one option is we can decrease the partitions. For suppose if you have 6 or 10 partitions, so if you want to decrease it, then we can use coils. Uh,
Mhm.
Coming to repartitions, we can increase it or decrease the partitions. That is one difference. And coming to repartition, so if it will go through full shuffle instead of merging the partitions simply. But coming
Mhm.
to coil is it will merge the partition instead of doing full shuffle and again creating the new partitions.
Okay. So,
Yeah,
yeah, come again for coalesce, what it will do? Repartition is
coil
okay.
is instead of shuffling, like no, if you have 10 partitions, the repartition will do complete shuffle and then it will create the partitions. But coming to coil is it will merge the partitions. If you have a node, if you consider a single node, if you have two partitions, it will merge both the partitions into a single partition instead of shuffling every partition and then forming a new partitions.
So, does it mean coalesce won't do any shuffle?
Yeah, it will do, but not like a full shuffle of repartition. Full shuffle will combine all the 10 partitions data and then it will make the partitions of more equal size. But coming to coil is it's like a skewed data. We can't guarantee that the partition size is not equal. We can get a skewed partitions because it will merge the partitions locally, uh, instead of shuffling and dividing the data.
Okay. So I have one more connecting question. So,
Yeah.
when we use what?
uh, when we use what, basically, like no what to say uh, uh, cardinality, depends on cardinality, we can say. Like if you have more or unique keys, for suppose I'm grouping the data based on the key. For suppose if we consider logs data, so I have only two keys, for suppose error and warning. So if
Mhm.
I'm grouping it, uh, uh, like uh, for suppose warning, based on the warning key I have like 10,000 records, and based on error key, let's say, we have only few records, then uh, we are not supposed to use coilies because we'll see more skewness.
Okay. Okay. See, that is what. So knowing answer is that is fine, but
Yeah.
we have to understand why Spark has implemented this queries, even if we have
Mm-hmm.
a repartition. That is the objective,
Repartition.
right?
Yeah.
So, and whatever you said is absolutely correct, especially the answer. That is what exactly. But when it real time when they ask something, right, we are able
Mm-hmm.
to answer like this way, so that they
Yes.
can they can realize or they may satisfy. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. This is a very small topic, but still, it is a very important as well, because if
And
you
also,
want.
Naresh, I just want like a few things from you. Like, so
Mhm.
coming to Spark, right? Like
Mhm.
I can like if you ask me uh, any topic, like I can say verbally. Like if you ask me day-to-day activities that you perform on Spark, then I'm getting stuck. Like
Okay. Okay.
coming to
Okay.
like if you ask me broadcast joint, like I can say. If you ask me
Mm.
something accumulator, I
Mm.
can say. But if
Mm.
some interviewer is asking what you'll do day-to-day activities on Spark, then I can't able to tell them like why you are using these transformations, or why what are the
Mm.
things that we are doing day to day. So
Yeah,
if you
understood.
want,
That is the that you come to know only when you do real time stuff, right? Or
yes,
either
yes,
you have to do a job and get it from there, or somebody should explain to you. These are the only
yes,
two
yes,
ways, right, to get the knowledge,
yes,
right?
yes,
So anyway,
yes,
first anyway, to get a job, that is again, it's our future task. Okay,
yes,
but till
yes,
we get the job, we have only one option, that you have to get it from others. That is the only one
yes,
way, correct?
yeah,
So that is
yes,
what my intention is also. First of all, let me share what I'm doing, or what
mm,
what people will do in our offices.
okay,
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 so
sure,
that you people get awareness, and you may take this as a reference and will proceed in your interview, right?
yes,
So that make more sense. Okay, and the similar kind of nature of work we are doing in a session two, that is many have already joined session two, like we are doing some mini project. Okay, so there
yeah,
that kind of stuff will come into the picture. Okay, the session one is
okay,
completely for it's a free completely, and we are just want to explain one topic in each session.
hmm, hmm,
Okay, it
yeah,
might be related to purely interview purpose, or some subject oriented, or any
hmm,
knowledge sharing. Is a session one. But the session two is,
okay,
we have already planned to do some practical stuff over there. So we
okay,
are now in an analyzing phase. Like we are taking some codes as a reference. Then we'll work on it first. Then once we get some insights out of it, then we will go and do our customized project. So that is the intention. Okay. In detail, we are going to discuss in a session two, which will start at 4:40 p.m. And now, just I want to focus on any one topic. Okay.
okay.
So if you, I think, have you joined till date the session two?
Yeah, like 1 or 2 weeks, I'm not feeling well, so I missed
No problem. No
last 2 weeks.
problem.
But early from starting onwards, I'm attending. Yeah.
No worry, no worry. But what type of service, or what type of help that you are expecting? Maybe you get from session two. Okay.
Yes, yes,
So
yes,
right. So here, if I discuss the same, right, then there may not be no difference between session one and session two. Okay.
yes, yes.
So that is the reason I'm not discussing much what we are doing in
Yeah,
session
yeah,
two.
yeah.
But
I can
still,
understand. Yeah,
if you have a time, you can join in session two so that you get more
yeah,
knowledge.
yeah,
Okay.
sure.
So I can say in one word, session two is a more about the practical what we generally do in offices. Okay,
Okay,
so that topic I want to cover through any taking any project. Okay, right. Anyway, we'll discuss this topic for next few minutes,
session.
and
Yeah,
I will try to take any questions out of this topic or within the topic till
yes.
we complete the session. All right. Okay. So guys, I'm just sharing my screen. Those who don't know much about this question and answer, please follow so that you will get a more clarity. Okay, right. So this is the one. Okay, I just taken one small example to give you some practical stuff. And Pawan already explained us what is the theory, and Spark repartition versus Coalesce. These are very wanted questions in interview, so please concentrate. The Coalesce uses existing partition to minimize the amount of data that's shuffled. That means in Coalesce, right, there is a shuffling. There may be shuffling, but it is very minimal. Okay, as compared to the repartition. Okay, So first repartition came, and then coalesce came after the repartition. That is, it is an improved version of repartition, we can say, but not whole, because there is one more difference. The difference already Pawan explained. The difference is with coalesce we can just we can able to decrease the number of partitions, but not we cannot increase. Okay, but whereas repartition, we can do either increase or decrease. That is the major difference between these two. Okay, ultimately, which one we have to use, that is completely based on the use case or business requirement. And if we have a huge data, and we are doing some aggregations or many transformations. Okay, so you don't have it. I mean, if you want to increase the number of partitions based on the performance cluster, let us say you have created one job, that is taking 1 hour time in Spark. You have used you didn't use anything like repartition or coalesce, you didn't use anything, but your code is your code with the data which is proposed is taking 1 hour time to execute that job. Okay, let us assume like that. So when we see the backend, let us say that is creating let us say 1,000 partitions. Okay, so for 1,000 partitions, as a developer, what we will do, we will try to see is there any performance tuning that we can able to do it. Okay, how we will do that is trial and error method. Like there is no rocket science, or there is no particular formula. Of course, though you can calculate a number of executors or each executor memory, etc., but generally people will do they will try to increase. Let us say there are many resources, but our job is executing only on on 100 nodes or 100 executors. Then if that is giving 1 hour time. Okay, okay, so we can also give more executors and try to see the performance. Okay, how we will do, generally one task, right? One task, we can say one task internally what it will do, it will take one partition of data and it will do all transformations and whatever we have given the business logic. Okay, so like that, if we have 1,000 partitions, and but there are 2,000 2,000. Let me open my page so that you will get more clarity. Let us say I just very well what is node, that that is generally we can say a mission, right? It's a physical mission. Okay, let us say this is one mission. Okay, in this mission or node, in this node, right, I just ask you a few questions. If this is let us say 16 or 16 core, okay, 16 core CPU, and let us say 16 GB memory, GB RAM. Okay, and I take on the hard disk is 1 TB. Since we are talking about the Spark, then we won't discuss much about hard disk. But now tell me, you leave it 1 core for OS operations and 1 GB for anyway OS operations. Okay, you just minus it 1. Okay, if you minus it 1, obviously we will get 15 cores. Okay, 15 cores and 15 GB RAM. Okay, you just assume. Okay, GB RAM. Now tell me, when Spark itself is a we can say the parallel processing, right? If when we call parallel, that means it should be more than one task, right? That means either 2 or 3, 4, 5, we don't know how many. Let us say this is one node is having this many cores, then you can say how many tasks will be created. We don't know, right? One task may take 1 core or 2 core, that we don't know, because we will give. Okay, let us assume I will do, executors, right? We have to discuss about executors. Okay, These are one executors and two executor and three executors. Okay. Let us assume we have three executors. Three executors. Now I will give 5 cores and 5 GB. 5 GB RAM. Okay. 5 GB RAM. So this is, I can call it as a executor. Okay. Same thing. So total how many? We have a 3 executors. But now you can tell me, what each executor, how many tasks it may take? Let us say there are 1000 partitions. Okay, one partition will take one. We can say one task. Okay, one task means this may take 5 tasks, right? It will do 5 tasks. So one executor may perform 5 tasks. Okay, let us say like this. Total 5 tasks. So here there is a scope. One executor will perform 5 tasks parallelly. Okay, so this is not compulsory. It's completely based on the job that it executes, right? It may use only two cores and it will execute 2 tasks. So it's completely based on the internal programming, like based on our job requirements. Okay, so now tell me, when we do this task, like okay, I'm just talking about the repartition queries. I want to give you in a practical way. That is the reason I'm explaining with an example. Okay, so now there are 1000 partitions. There are 1000 partitions. Okay, and in a cluster, right? I can say in a cluster, I can say there are 2000 cores are available. Okay, 2000 cores are available and 2000 GB available. Okay. Okay, and our partition here is 128 MB. That is the standard. Each partition is 128 MB. Now it is, you tell me, cluster is having 2000 cores and 2000 GB available, and it is taking. Then one partition, how much it will take? It use only 1000 cores, right? 1000 cores and 1000 1000 GB. 1000 GB. Okay. Now, when it use 1000 cores and 1000 GB, how much time it is taking? It is taking 1 hour time. Roughly, I'm giving you. Okay. Now, whatever we given the task or program to the Spark to execute, it taken and it divided into 1000 partitions, and each partition, let us assume 128 MB. Then it is utilized 1000 cores and 1000 GB. Sorry, it is GB. It's GB. Okay, it's a GB. It took 1 hour. Now, with your experience, since the cluster is, we know very well that cluster is available, we can increase it, right? We can increase it. That means we can increase these partitions to 1500. Okay, let us say I have increased, or for simplicity, let me increase it to double. 2000 partitions. By using repartition. Okay, we have only one method. That means now we are making 64 MB, right? If we are increasing to 2000, then obviously it should be 64 MB. Now what you are feeling? Like if it is 64, then of course maybe 2000 cores may be utilized. And 2000 GB. It may take around, let us assume 35 minutes. right? This may be a possible case, but try to understand when we are increasing the partitions, it may create some network consumption. Okay, so due to the network consumption, then the processing time may go little higher. That is the reason I mentioned instead of 30, I given 35. Okay, that is one reason. Okay, so but this is one case, but there is we cannot say that when we increase the number of partition, it will give the better performance. No. Okay, let us say our partition itself is a 64. Okay, initially it created with 64, but when you do repartition, okay, I will give you one more example. Example means extension of this. Okay, let us say our cluster is having 4,000 cores and 4,000 GB available. So, do you think to grow again? I mean, you want to increase partitions to 4,000? No, you cannot do that, because when you do that, then 34 MB is our block size. Okay, just try to understand why Hadoop 2 is having 120 MB and why Hadoop 1 is having 64 MB as a block size. If 64 MB is giving a better performance, why Hadoop 2 is implemented in Hadoop 2 implemented 128 MB? Try to understand that. Okay, so it's completely situation. Okay, completely availability of cores or availability of cluster resources and your business logics and data or number of partition. So we cannot give one solution and this you have to follow. No, this is completely when you do real-time stuff that you have to tune it. You have to fine-tune it by doing this kind of analysis, by doing this kind of trial and error method. Okay, so sometimes cluster is so busy. Okay, you didn't get 1,000 nodes. Okay, you got only 250 nodes or 250 cores. Then obviously this 1 hour will go to 3 hours or 4 hours, right?
Yes.
So, and we can do one more thing. If you still keep on if you know the cluster is nowhere, we are getting the 1,000 cores, we may get 250 to 500, then you can straight away go and try it to reducing this number of partitions to 500. When you reduce this 1,000 partition to 500 partitions, then obviously block size may be 256 MB. Okay, that time anyway one task will go to one core or one executor, and it will execute it. Maybe we don't know, that may take that may give you in 50 minutes or 45 minutes, because there is no here I just giving you one core, but in real time 2 core 3 core also may be available to execute one task. Okay, so it need not be the same where I'm explaining. I'm just giving an example how real-time cluster will act. Okay, if our cluster, if it is in production, right? Production is having very good configurations. All these RAMs and codes and GBs and TVs and all hard disks. These are completely very high configuration machines. So there you may see better performance than the development environment. Okay, so finally what I want to say, we may use repartition or coalesce based on this scenario, based on the nature of job that we are going to execute. Okay, that is the reason you have to understand the only differences. Okay, when to use what, it is completely based on the real-time stuff. When we do that time we definitely come to know which one is a more efficient way. Okay, did you understand this concept here before going to explain our actual topic? Did you understand this topic?
Naresh, I have one question here.
Yeah,
so
okay.
Here in the executor we given 5 cores and 5 GB RAM, right?
Okay,
so so we can say number of partitions equal to number of tasks.
yes, yeah, you
So,
you have to assume like that.
We can, yeah. So here we given 5 cores, right? So is it mandatory, like how the tasks will take the cores, how they'll assign, like only one task will take 1 core or 2 cores
No,
or 3 cores?
that's what as a developer, right? You no need to go
Yeah.
into that depth. But at least
Okay.
if somebody asks you how Spark internally works, or
Okay.
what is the executor, what is a node, what is the executor memory, how will you calculate? Now you
Yeah.
tell me here one node is there. You can say how many executors are there? I'm just asking you based on this discussion. How many executors are there?
3. We given 3.
And is it
Yeah.
mandatory? Since I given 5 cores, you are saying
5
3.
cores.
If I give
Yeah.
three cores to each executor, I mean each executor, how many executors will be there?
5. We can
5.
create more based on
Right,
the
right.
resource.
You
Yeah.
have to say this one. You have to say this one.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And completely, Spark is smart enough to calculate all these things when you submit any program. Okay.
Okay.
But explicitly, if
Yeah.
you want to do something, you have to give explicit parameters.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Like a static dynamic allocation, we can make
Correct,
it false
correct.
and then.
Yeah. Okay. And anything else regarding this explanation? I will quickly give you the notes that you have prepared.
So,
Yeah.
Naresh, and one more thing. So, is there any limit, like for each executor, this much cores will require, like that is the maximum limit that will prefer in the production?
See, in production, right? To be frank, we won't discuss this in this depth. Okay, what I
Okay.
generally do with my colleagues and all, we know very well that how many nodes are there in a cluster. That we know. Okay, because we have a data. We will take it from admin. They will provide. Okay, and each node configuration also we know. Based on that, we will assume. This is not static, right? Number of executors are not static, right? How can we define? Because here I'm saying if we allocate these 5 cores and 5 RAM, now we are seeing 3 executors. Okay, let us say one core and 1 RAM, then we have many more executors, right?
Yes.
So that is completely we can define, or if you won't define it, Spark will automatically create it based on the our job requirements. Okay, right. But I'm just giving you an information that you don't think too much about it. Okay, you don't think too much about it. You just know how many cores or how many RAM or how many executors, how we decide memory. Okay, how we decide the number of partitions. This kind of information you're supposed to get it from here.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? Nobody will ask you in depth. Okay, nobody will ask you in depth because they don't know. Okay, because we are not an admin person, right? We are a developers.
Yes.
So knowing this much.
So if you do the coilies, right, so it will decrease the partitions, right, Naresh? So will the block size also change, right? Then from 128 to 256 or 512?
Yeah. That will happen.
That's the resultant skewness.
Yes. But very well, right? The coilies will give a better performance. Let me tell you. For each partition, one executor, we can say it is more capable. Okay, there is a person who will eat more than 1 kg at a time. Okay, so if you give pav kg, then what will happen? He will finish it in a minute and he will ask you, right?
Yes.
Right. So like that, if executors are more capable enough to handle more data, then why you are giving 128 MB? You give 512 MB, no?
Yes.
You do it fast. Then in that case, it won't sit ideal, right?
Yeah. Yes.
That is what happened when we decrease, number of partitions. If there is a good cluster is available.
Yes.
Right. So my assumption is different in case of development, in case of performance tuning. Okay.
Yeah.
So cluster, when you execute the same program, right, in a performance tuning or PT environment, it may take 15 minutes, but whereas in a real-time cluster or production, it may take 10 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, because of the configuration and all.
Configuration and availability of resources.
Yes.
And it may be vice versa. If cluster is busy, it may take 20 minutes also. That we won't guess it. Okay.
So like in your company or project, so mostly you'll perform repartition or coilies.
Generally, we won't do because mainly we are doing most batch oriented, right? Performance is not a big issue, but when our job is taking more than 5 minutes or more than 8 hours, there is a job. There are some jobs that will take more than 8 hours when we do only MapReduce. Okay. So
Okay.
at that time, anyway, in MapReduce, we don't have any repartition queries, right? But when we do, Spark, some places we will use queries.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Quickly finish this topic. It won't take much time, just 2-3 minutes, and then we will take questions. Okay, guys, I just giving you one practical. Like I just given a range, then it will create 50 numbers. Then you know very well to create a RDD, that is SC text and Spark context dot parallelize method. Then I just executing it since we have already computed theory. So number of partition, if you see, it is created 8. By default, it created 8. It's not mandatory that each partition should have 120 MB. No, Spark will decide. And you know very well Globe. We had already discussed Globe in the last week. So if you want to see number of partition to see, then get number of partition is a function to get the number of partitions. But what is the data which is stored inside that partitions? If you want to see, you have to use GNOME function. Okay, so that you see these are the total 8. The data is stored like this. Okay, data is stored like this. Okay, and repartition, right? If I do repartition, try to reducing the partitions to 4, what will happen? Let me run it and make it. I want to see that partition, how it will happen. See here, the first partition is created with 42, and then it's completely shuffling. See, it's not in order, right? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then 31, 32, okay, 44, 43, and these are all some random picks, right? Random. When we do repartition, this is what internally is happening. It's not linear. We can say it's not a proper arranged manner, right? So, but when you do queries, I'm doing queries here. See here, queries. I will show you difference. See, queries what it does, like till 11 and 12, 13, 14 to 24. It's reduced in a systematic manner. There is very less shuffling, very less shuffling. Okay, so but here there is a huge shuffling. This is only small data, but try to understand if there are millions and billions of records, how much memory or how much resources it will take. So that is the reason queries will give the better performance compared to repartition. Okay, so this is the little topic, small topic we can say, just given a small an explanation. So any questions from here? We have 3 minutes left for this session.
So Naresh, Coalesce here it is doing only merging of partitions instead of shuffling.
It's see, it is simple to understand, but the same you supposed to explain in an interview. Okay.
Yes.
But ultimately, we have to know the practical knowledge, where to use and how to use. That is important. I think you don't have any questions, but please don't forget it, because we discussed it in detail. So we'll come up with another important topic in our next week. And please note it. These are one of the important questions of Spark. Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for joining the session 1. Those who are interested can join in session 2. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.